So I love setting arbitrary challenges for myself, and this week it was how can I get across just about every guitar technique that I think is useful with only 4 guitar players. Before we even get into it, I left out a lot of great guitar players. I left out a lot of great players because sometimes people's visions are so clear and uniqueness is so unique that if you learned their songs, you'd really just sound like them. The people I chose still have wonderful, unique voices, but I think you'll be able to extrapolate some bigger lessons from them that you can apply just about anywhere. So with all that being said, here's number 1, Tommy Emmanuel. If you need some background on him, he basically advanced Chet Atkins style playing into the stratosphere. You'll learn to think of the guitar more as a piano as well as learn some different kind of techniques. First song I'd recommend of his is his cover of Billy Joel's And So It Goes. This arrangement will teach you that using the same cowboy chords that we all know, you can make a wonderful arrangement if you pay attention to the voicings. So I'll play the intro to this for you just with the regular chords. And then one more time playing the intro to this song with the specific voicings. Next up from Tommy is Blue Moon. This song will teach you walking bass, but more important than just walking bass, it's really being able to play a chord and have bass notes change to change the mood of the chord. This is also a really good one to learn as far as thinking of the guitar in 3 interesting registers. That being that every chord has a top note, a melody note, the meat and potatoes of it, and then a bass note, and all of them affect the emotion of that voicing. The next one and last one from him is Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Even if you only get kind of good at his artificial harmonic harp technique thing, it's going to be a really wonderful technique that's easy to show off and easy to make something gorgeous without actually soloing. It'll also teach you how to build an arrangement behind a gorgeous ballad and still be kind of a showman. It's not like you're just awash in pretty things. There's a lot of moments in this arrangement where it'll go from really soupy and gorgeous and then all of a sudden grab your attention. The next player is Julian Lage. Some of you who know me are probably not surprised by that. If you need a background on him, he's a prodigy, wonderkind, super nice person. He plays so insanely that it's like if he wrote it out before, it's amazing, and if he's improvising it, which he often is, it's spellbinding. It's kind of Americana jazzy thing, but not really like traditional jazz. The first song I'd recommend of his is Peru, off of his solo album World's Fair. This will teach you how to really play melodically while also seemingly never stopping your right hand. The way he plays, it almost forces you to play with a bouncy, relaxed picking hand. That's not necessarily the same as some of the shredders I grew up with and love, where they're playing like this. You don't really want to play like that. Next song of his I'd recommend is Persian Rug. Here you'll learn how to feel relaxed and comfy at a really fast tempo. Sometimes when someone starts a song and goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, it can be pretty nerve-wracking. And to hear that and just go, yeah, that sounds fine, is a wonderful talent that you have to really work on. Even more impressive is how to play with a bouncy, playful feel at that tempo. When you play with that relaxed, bouncy feel at that fast tempo, for the listener, it almost feels like you're on like some sort of carriage ride or something like that. And when you don't, sometimes it feels like that carriage fell off a cliff. Next and last is his version of Autumn Leaves. Really, anytime he's ever played this solo, it's almost like a thesis on how to play this song. When he plays through something familiar to us all like a standard, you see that he sees basically every practical and theoretical note available, as well as maybe the feeling or emotion behind every available option. Or he's just really good at selling you on all those things. The amount of different influences present in his version on the album Gladwell are just ridiculous. It's basically like 3.5 minutes of just like every 20 seconds going, no way, no, oh, that's awesome, oh no, oh cool, oh. A pretty hard thing to do for solo jazz guitar. The next player up is Tim Miller. Wonderful Human Being, Old Teacher of Mine, and Alan Holdsworth Protege. Basically, you're going to get your legato and chord chops together, as well as developing an ear for jazz and weirdly modern metal soloing. First song of his I'd recommend is Trace, off of Trio Volume 2. The solo is over insanely hard changes, which will definitely expand your ear. Also, a lot of his lines will get you very used to hybrid picking. The head of this tune is actually a great exercise in playing lead lines and then comping for yourself. Not the easiest thing to do. The second song I'd recommend of his is Roller Coaster. It's basically the perfect song to help internalize his 2-1-2 approach. When I was taking lessons with him, he'd mentioned that he came up with this 2-1-2 technique because he never really felt comfortable with sweep picking and didn't enjoy how triadic it sounded. This different technique still gets the vibe of sweeping, but is a bit more musical, and certainly you can choose different notes a little easier. I'll do a little example, albeit way slower than he plays it. The last recommendation isn't actually a song, it's just be to join his website. Basically, it's a bunch of PDFs and video lessons, and at this point, because you have access to everything he ever did, it's easily a lifetime of things to practice. Last up is John Mayer. This might seem like an obvious choice, but he is a great example of a player who's absorbed so many popular genres. So not only will it help you with a lot of genres, but why I didn't go with someone more contemporary is because John Mayer's been hearing maybe like little producer notes for over 2 decades, really honing his parts. First song I'd recommend of his is his cover of the Hendrix tune Wait Until Tomorrow from Live in LA. You'll get a lot of the basics of like blues, funk, and pop rhythm playing. You'll learn how to really keep that right wrist loose when you're strumming, as well as mute and voice only certain notes in chords. And then if you learn the solos, it's basically wonderful blues, Americana rock, lead, minor pentatonic stuff. The next song of his would be Queen of California. It nails the majority of what we just did in Wait Until Tomorrow, but in a more relaxed vibe. It starts out with a wonderful acoustic part and has a great electric accompaniment as well. The solo to this one isn't like some rock out thing, it's more melodic, and that's really important as a soloist to have in your arsenal. As a soloist, you're really going to want the ability to just blow people's faces off with awesome licks, but then do a 180 and go to a really singable, memorable solo. Last of his songs is Why Georgia. It might seem a little obvious, but it's basically the perfect learn how to accompany a singer song. Also how to basically win over an audience as a guitarist while just accompanying. I've seen some amazing soloists play some rhythm guitar and they sound just like anyone else. And I've seen amazing soloists play rhythm guitar and I'm just like, whoa. To be impressive playing rhythm accompaniment, it means you have to really nail a lot of your fundamentals. Your time feel and your execution and all these different things have to be really together to achieve that. If you feel like I left out someone who would have been a better pick, please comment and let me know. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all next week.